Ultimate MK Podquest.
I'd like to start this episode with what I'll describe as a positive disclaimer.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about nearly as much gross shit as we did last time. I don't think.
Yeah.
I'd like to make that promise up front.
Well, that's going to be disappointing to some of our listeners, I'm sure.
It might, but the internet's big and it's vast and Bing exists.
Now, you have nobody to blame for that except yourself.
No, yeah. That's why I'm like fronting this apology tour that we're doing.
You don't need, no.
Because it was, we said a lot of dumb shit, and I think it's good, and I'm not actually apologizing. I want to make that unequivocally clear. All of those hilarious jokes were very good and funny, but I imagine that most people are coming to this for like a lower content of that.
Most people are doing what, Corey?
Oh, yeah? See, I was trying to dance around comedically not saying the word again. There's going to be a much lower bodily fluid quota.
Sure. But we got some uncomfortable stuff to talk about.
I guess we always kind of do.
I'm speaking specifically about what I told you about earlier, where I, in recent days, have watched about 6 episodes of Pacific Blue.
So Neil, a familiar face drew you to Pacific Blue.
Yeah.
And I want to make unequivocally clear for longtime listeners, this is not the Pacific Blue bonus episode.
No, it's not.
Because I've never seen a single second of Pacific Blue.
No, but I got deeper into Pacific Blue than I ever had before. And by which I mean I got into like the Mario Lopez era of Pacific Blue.
Was he on that for a while?
Yes, he was. In fact,
was that a downgrade for Mario Lopez at the time? I feel like he was more famous than Pacific Blue implies.
No, it was an upgrade for him at the time. 100%.
Okay, good for Mario Lopez.
Here's what I've learned about Pacific Blue, particularly seasons 4 and 5. All right, so you haven't watched pretty much any Baywatch, have you?
I mean, if I have, I certainly don't remember it. Like, I'm sure I've seen it because like it exists and is famous, but like I couldn't tell you a single thing about it.
Fucking Baywatch, the way that people act like Baywatch is not how Baywatch is, it's how Pacific Blue is. Yeah.
Good. That's what we needed. We needed a truer to life Baywatch.
There are just so many butts in this series, for starters.
Just like real life.
Just thongs everywhere. It's wild.
When that Cisco song come out?
I don't know. Around this time, probably.
Tight. Great. Thank you.
Feels like 2000, 2001, probably.
The thong song.
We don't want to be here for hours, right? I just gotta get a few of these things off my chest, dude.
1999.
1999. Yeah, same year the Dreamcast came out. You think I would have known that? In North America. It was already in Japan.
Are you allowed to mod a Dreamcast to make its startup sound of the thong song? Okay, now do your thing.
So I just got this shit on, right? Somebody, something, somewhere reminded me of it. Probably just the fact that we're always talking about it. And I was like...
And we're the only 2 people alive doing that, so...
I'm going to check in with some Pacific Blue. It's all streaming free on the Roku channel. Probably several other places too, but that's where I was watching it. So what I had done is I had looked for the Kristana Loken episodes. It's a 2-parter called... Pacific Blue Hawaii. I didn't watch that one. I worked back a couple episodes, I think. And guess whose fucking face I see pop up in Pacific Blue?
The one. The only. Our Raiden and yours. Jeffrey Meek.
Jeffrey fucking Meek, right? He's in 2 episodes of Pacific Blue, and we may not have even mentioned that back in the Conquest.
I'm almost certain we didn't.
Here's the thing. He was in 2 episodes. The one that I happened on was his 2nd episode, where he's just kind of this curmudgeon-y, like, police chief pushing the bike cops to investigate. I believe it was a college science professor who was cooking meth and having his students sell it. So the bicycle cops had to go undercover in college.
Okay. Do they look like believably college-age students?
I don't know, dude. It's TV. So yeah, it worked.
I want to know how dedicated Pacific Blue is to being real.
Not at all. So then I started I started working backwards from there a little bit, right? And I'm browsing through episodes, and then another episode comes in where there's some kind of like stripper ring, and the strippers are getting murdered, and they're college students or sorority members. So then one of the female bicycle cops has to infiltrate this sorority and this strip club. And then another one where there's a prostitution ring being run out of a college or by a therapist or something. So then one of the female officers, one of the woman officers, has to infiltrate the prostitution ring. And this is all intercut, mind you, with the occasional them just riding around on their bikes with their bike helmets on the beach. Like,
yeah, it's called safety, Neil.
It's
something they're bringing to these nightmarish college campuses you're describing.
But why are these bicycle patrol cops setting up these insane, like, infiltrating a woman's prison and shit like that? Like, why are they going undercover all the time? And why is the show always fucking making the women go, like, be strippers or hookers?
Well, I think we all know the answer to that question. That's because it was the 90s.
It was the 90s.
And it was an excuse to get fewer clothes on people, likely.
So I keep working backwards, right? Don't ask me why I'm working backwards. I just am. And I finally reach what ended up being the first of the two Jeff Meek episodes, where he is in fact a police captain.
Oh, so the one that we're going long on is not the one with the meth selling college professor, aka bad breaking man, the broken angry man.
No,
everyone's favorite app where you throw birds at people, Angry Man.
No, this so his first episode, he's a police captain who is having an affair with one of the lady bike cops who is constantly getting sent undercover to be a stripper or a hooker or whatever. I believe it's Shanna Mokler.
Before you say anything else, I want to get my joke out of the way.
Go for it.
Which is that's Stryker's way. Seduced by Jeff again.
Well,
the meek man, you nasty dog.
Corey, let me finish the story here. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to tell the joke now.
First of all, I believe that the officer in question, the lady officer, is the woman who used to be married to Travis Barker from Blink-182. That's just a little bit of trivia.
Cool.
And Officer Jeffrey Meek is having an affair with bicycle cop Mrs. Travis Barker, and just physically beating her throughout the episode, to the point where Mario Lopez and her like pull a sting on him, where Mario Lopez captures it all on film so they can blackmail the guy into stopping it. Not even get him fired, just blackmail him into stopping attacking her. And then I believe that episode ends with her still being involved with Jeff Meek.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a bad show.
Yeah.
Not my rating.
Certainly not. He wouldn't do that.
No.
We all saw the Zhuzhin Applebee's episode.
Yeah. There was enthusiastic consent going on when Raiden was hanging out with Babe. And that's very important.
Thank God for that. I remember a thing I was going to say earlier and forgot, so we can tie it all back around. You're assuming that because they're bike cops, that is somehow like a diminutive position in like the cop hierarchy, but maybe this is just a town that's very bicycle friendly, so there's still cops that get asked to do like serious cop shit.
Pretty sure it's LA County. It's like,
well, we don't know what part. Is it a bike friendly part?
It's like Venice. It's like Venice Beach.
Yeah, people ride bikes there all the time, so maybe they're just regular cops.
Yeah, but there's a lot
bikes rather than bike cops, which is like a basically never mind. I'm not going to say that.
They're bicycle cops patrolling the boardwalk. Like the first 2 seasons, the ones that I had originally watched, they were catching robbers on the boardwalk and shit like that, right? And fast forward 2 more seasons, they're going across California to infiltrate colleges to catch like meth cooks.
Did they get promoted?
No, they're still all bicycle cops.
That doesn't mean they're not promoted. That's just a form of transportation. That's saying Corey, I didn't know that you turned into a robot because I was in the middle of driving a car.
You're so stuck on this Turbo Team shit. Where did this come from? You brought it up like 8 times recently.
You get what I mean, though. Also, because Turbo Teen is the fucking most insane piece of entertainment ever. I keep trying to say conceived, and my brain keeps saying deceived, and maybe that's the word to use.
Maybe that's more accurate. No, what I'm saying is like they're not detectives. They're like
they might be now, and they ride bikes.
No, they're not. They're not detectives.
We don't know that. You haven't seen every episode.
I've seen enough to say that that's an educated guess. I would bet money on the fact that they are not detectives. They are just like your standard bicycle cop, dude.
That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
I don't even think they carry guns. Like
they might. Well, they probably do. And if they don't carry ones that they're allowed to have, they probably carry ones they're not supposed to have.
But in any case, they don't have patrol cars. They have bicycles. They have fucking Huffies.
Well, somebody is working on climate change.
Anyway, it's a fucked up show.
We're going to get to it eventually.
We might have to do what you did on, they made another one where you like picked like 7 episodes of Girl Meets World to assess the show.
Oh, like do a lot of Pacific Blue?
No. What I'm saying is we'll do like the 2 Jeffrey Meeks and the 2 Kristana Lokens. And leave it alone.
That's a lot of Pacific Blue still.
It is, but
that's not an insignificant amount of Pacific Blue.
Sure, that adds up probably to the total runtime of Defenders of the Realm. Speaking of Defenders of the Realm.
Oh, is that what we're here to talk about?
You want to talk about Kano? You want to talk about Defenders of the Realm episode 6 Familiar Red?
What a bad fucking name.
I don't know what it means. Is it his eye? Are they talking about his eye? They're not talking about his like outfit because we see him in the past.
This isn't actually
not dressed that way.
It's an AU where it's communist Australia.
Was it pretty specifically a British accent and a British actor voicing Kano? It's
arguably that. I can finally come full circle on the bit I was setting up, which is that Kano sounds like Austin Powers. Kano just sounds like Austin Powers.
He does. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the guy who voices him because it's kind of a big deal.
Mike Myers.
To some people, probably.
Oh, God.
But do you want to take us into the Corey Corner?
Yeah, sorry, I was skimming my notes while I was making that big, terrible sound. Welcome to the Corey Corner.
Whoa.
Sure, it was quick. So, right off the bat, I'd like to say, this is a weird episode to start with an in-loving memory credit that goes straight into a really bad wonky fight scene.
We're going to talk about it in the Neil Nook.
I hope that person's family felt honored by being the title card for an episode of Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm.
Yeah, I'm sure. When we get to it, I'm sure they were.
So they're fighting some dudes, and Nightwolf is like, combat alert. There's another one. We got to figure this one out. And they're like, okay, we'll split everybody up. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And then we go to Egypt, and there is a man in a portal with a walking evil briefcase, and he's clearly talking to Shao Kahn.
Clearly.
Who is just like ominously silhouetted sort of in the portal thing. And the long and short of it is that there's this walking robot briefcase, which reminds me of one of those fucking guys from the live action Transformers movies. I don't know which movie, but there's one that's like roughly the size of a dog, and he talks like, "Hey, I'm walking here," voice, like he's from New York.
Like all the rest of the fucking Transformers in those movies. I hate those fucking movies.
Anyway, that guy sucks, and so does this, except it doesn't talk. And this is a machine that can create like false portals, false rifts in the dimensions.
Yeah, it looks like an original Xbox, but with a red circle instead of a green circle.
Yeah, and so the long and short of it is Nightwolf keeps being like, "You guys, you got to go over here. Guys, you got to go over there. Guys, you got to go over here." And every time they show up, they're like, "There's nothing here, you fucking asshole. We're so tired. We're being run ragged." And like, so I want to make abundantly clear what Neil is getting at.
God.
Nightwolf seemingly gets this wrong twice And they're instantly like, if you don't start fixing this, I'm going to fucking end your life. I'm going to strangle you to death until I feel the air leave your body. Nightwolf, you suck so bad. I fucking hate you. And he's just like...
They call him a screw-up like a dozen times.
I thought I could trust computers. Oh, fuck. Shit. I fucking hate computers, but I know I'm right. I'm being driven by some crazy hackers into the crazy realm. I know I'm right. Something's wrong. Computers. My self-esteem. My confidence. And then there's a questionable bit where Raiden is just like, you're a shaman, trust your instincts, bro. And he like just blinks out of existence. So Nightwolf has to get over the tyranny of computers and his friends hating him.
His smartphone addiction.
And the B story is just Sonya hating Kano, which is not unusual.
Kano, who she thought she had killed at the Mortal Kombat tournament in the 95 movie.
And then Kano gets away, and
Kano's back. At
the end of the episode, I just want to mention this up front. It cuts straight up to Shao Kahn, like in Outworld plotting, very, very, very quickly. And it's the first and to date only time they've done that, and it's very unceremonious.
Totally. Yeah. This was the first Shao Kahn appearance in this series. Won't be the last. So, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, my hair's in my face. Ugh.
Sorry. ko-fi.com/mkpodquest to give Corey money for a haircut.
I actually can't legally get a haircut right now.
Like a headband or something.
I have a headband. It's too tight. It doesn't fit my gigantic head.
A headband for just like someone with a big bowling ball head.
Actually, I think technically, but by the time this episode comes out, I will legally be allowed to get a haircut. But right now, I can't.
Nice. Corey needs a. In the meantime, Corey needs a headband for his big melon.
Yeah, just like Anthony Fantano.
Let's go to the Neil Nook. I'm not entirely sure who Anthony Fantano is, and
he's the internet's busiest music nerd.
And I don't want to learn about it here. Welcome to the Neil Nook.
It's Gucci. Whoa! It was fast again.
There's a little bit of a sharpness in my voice because I've got like my throat is scratchy. I just want to be clear. That's why I got this cough, man. I got something going on. I'm probably getting sick.
Sick of
everything. This episode was written by everybody's favorite Mortal Kombat writer, Sean Catherine Derrick. Pew, 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 pew. And right at the beginning of the episode, it does open, like after the title card, the familiar red title card, it does say, in loving memory of Valerie Hawk. And while I couldn't find any real information about who Valerie Hawk is as a person, I know that she was in fact a producer on Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, and the Double Dragon cartoon series, and the New Adventures of Madeline, you know, the little French girl cartoon. And she was a production assistant on the Swamp Thing animated series. So she was one of the producers on the show, and you know, they must have lost her, and they dedicated this episode to her.
That's nice.
So we get 2 new characters in this episode for the series. We get Shao Kahn, right? Shao Kahn is voiced by a man named John Vernon. Corey, he is a Canadian actor.
Cool, we probably know each other.
He was Rupert Thorne in all of the Batman the Animated Series stuff, you know, the show, animated movies, etc. He was on like basically every television series ever. He was in Airwolf, A-Team, Chips, the Mission Impossible TV series. He was in the movie The Outlaw Josie Wales. He did 2 episodes of that show Renegade that Kathleen Kinmont from Halloween 4 and Dion in Mortal Kombat Conquest starred in. And he was even in, you ever see the Alfred Hitchcock movie Topaz?
No.
Okay, well this guy was in that. He fucking worked with Alfred Hitchcock, then went on later in life to voice Shao Kahn on Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm.
Probably what Alfred would have wanted.
Let's talk about Kano. Kano was voiced by Michael DeBars. Do you know that name?
Absolutely not. Not even slightly.
I bet you know one thing that he did.
Bad Austin Powers impressions?
No. Do you know the song Obsession that pops up in like every single movie?
Obsession. You are my obsession.
Yeah. That's the song.
Did he sing it?
He wrote it with Holly Knight. Animotion covered it. It became a huge hit. It's been in it's
every movie.
It's on the soundtrack of like 30-something movies, at least. And this guy wrote that song.
So he spent all of his talent there, and then he got cast on Defenders of the Realm.
He's had bands like Silverhead Detective. That's 2 different bands, not Silverhead Detective.
I was going to say, that sounds like a way cooler name.
He was like bros with Duran Duran. So when Robert Palmer left their Power Station side project, he took over for vocals. He hosts a program, the Michael DeBar's program on Sirius XM Channel 21. So he's like a big-time English musician. And he's also done a lot of acting as well.
That's more of an allegation than a fact, based on his performance in Defenders of the Realm.
He was a regular on MacGyver. He was Murdoch in MacGyver. He was in the new WKRP in Cincinnati. He was on Alf. He did one episode of Alf. Miami Vice.
I'm still listening to the song, by the way. I want to make that unequivocally clear.
Okay. Well, pay attention, because here's a big one.
No, I'm
that
listening.
He was in.
It's casual background music, but I just thought that was fun.
He was in a little movie called Poison Ivy: The New Seduction, starring Jamie Presley and Greg Vaughn.
Uh-huh. Who is he in that?
An old guy.
Is he the old guy or just a old guy?
He was Ivan Greer. He is third build.
So he's probably the gross guy.
So he was the old
situation.
He was the old guy.
I can't believe how many times the Poison Ivy franchise of films has come up since I watched Poison Ivy 2 on my other show.
Well, we got another connection just now. You know how I was talking about Pacific Blue and an actress and an actor named Shanna Mokler?
Yeah.
Well, she was also in Poison Ivy: The New Seduction.
God damn it. You know what? This Obsession song could probably be in that movie.
They probably couldn't afford it.
The first one maybe could have, but they probably spent all their money on Drew Barrymore.
We didn't get to Pacific Blue directly, but we got to Poison Ivy: The New Seduction. So
God,
I'm going to call that a win.
I think that we shouldn't do that as a bonus episode. I think we should draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, you put your foot down about that pretty early on in the series, and I plan to respect it. But
I just can't believe how many more times it's had to come up.
I will say, of the two,
Pacific Blue or Poison Ivy?
No, movies of the two of Poison Ivy: The New Seduction versus Death to the Supermodels.
Right.
Poison Ivy: The New Seduction is a better movie.
Almost certainly.
Yeah. So if we had to pick one to watch, well, you know my vote. But fortunately, we don't have to pick either, unless somebody out there wants to give us a whole bunch of money. Yeah,
like I don't like shilling for money, even as a bit, because people sometimes will be like, "Oh, it's not a bit," and
right. Yeah, I've been doing a bit of that lately, haven't I?
I want people to keep their money or recognize that we're doing it as a joke. But if you want me to watch that movie, you will have to pay me. And it's going to cost at least a couple Neil's new chairs worth of money.
Heyo. All right, that's it for the Neil Nook. Let's dive into this.
This episode's bad, right?
Yeah, it should have been titled Gaslighting.
It should have been titled How to Be a Shitty Fucking Friend to Your Friend.
Yeah.
This whole episode... so here, I'm going to give a list of the reasons why this episode is bad, if you'll indulge me.
Sure, it's what we're here for.
1, the whole crux of it is Nightwolf is getting bullied by his friends. 2, the reason they're doing that is because they don't think that there's something wrong with his computers, which he's saying he thinks there is. He thinks, or rather his friends seem to think, that he is actively attempting to send them jet-setting all over the globe as a means to exhaust them to death, and they are sick of his shit. Even though, in every previous episode, all we've ever seen is Nightwolf be completely on top of his shit and motivating others through difficult times. And the way this all builds up is Raiden just comes in and says, "Turn off the computer, idiot." And he does. And that just fixes everything. And he does it with a little bit of stereotyping to boot. And it's just like, fuck off.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Nightwolf was insisting that, his computer didn't make a mistake. And then everyone just starts telling him that he's the screw up. Well, you screwed something. And by everyone, I specifically mean Sonya and Stryker.
Big fucking surprise.
Huge fucking, both of them, just gigantic shitheels in this episode. I hate it. Anyway, all right. Let's walk through this, right? So, like, right at the beginning, we got the whole gang, Sonya and the boys, and they were all just, like, beating up displaced Outworld refugees, a.k.a. Tarkatans, a.k.a. nomads.
Correct.
And I'm wondering if their new leader, Karbrak, is there.
It didn't appear that way.
or if Carbrat got murdered in episode 1. He probably did. There's some hilarious shit in this fight, though, right? There's like a scene where like Stryker like clubs a Tarkatan in the grundle.
Sure. That's a good word to just say into a microphone. Neil, you had a whole language at your disposal just now.
I was tossing a coin leading up to saying that in my head between grundle and taint. And I went with grundle.
I think you're laughing, but Discord is failing me hard.
Yeah, I am. Oh god. Anyway, yeah. So Stryker just like wails on a Tarkatan like right in the crotch. We've got like Sub-Zero. He ices the floor, and we see like 3 Tarkatans like Scooby-Doo slide across it, and he just sort of hits each one in a row. We got Sonya doing a lot of flips and just like generally bloodthirsty in this episode. And then there was that one part where we just hear like Stryker yell, and he just sort of flies on screen and lands on his ass. Like he just got kicked really hard off screen. That was pretty good.
My whole memory of the opening of this episode is being really caught off guard by the fact that when that portal shows up and Shao Kahn is like clearly there, like whispering to the person involved, it's like, you know what to do with it, right? And the thing to do with it is you just fucking drop it on the goddamn ground.
Set it on the ground. Yeah, and then it just digs its way into the Egyptian temple. But so the gang's fighting. Liu Kang's talking to Nightwolf. Nightwolf's like, there's another rift opening, and Liu Kang's like, well, we're dealing with all these nomads. I guess we'll have to split the party.
I'm trying to put batteries into my Sega Nomad.
So Liu Kang, Liu Kang, Katana, and Stryker leave this battle to fly to Egypt. And we cut over to Egypt and we see that rift open. We see like a shadowy figure step out. You're not sure who it is quite yet, but the other shadowy figure is pretty fucking hard to mistake for anybody else. It's clearly Shao Kahn, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 100%. They were like legit trying to like hide that, I think, and then like give the big reveal at the end of the episode.
Yeah, they failed about as miserably as you could possibly fail. If you didn't want to spoil it, just don't put a fucking silhouette.
Sure. Just have a voice, a hand reach through, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Big bony hands. It's weird because Shao Kahn's so buff, but he's got brittle skeleton hands.
It's wild.
He's got fucking osteoporosis hands.
Some kind of a side effect from being resurrected after he died in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Big theory boys. Okay.
There it is. We got it in.
Yeah, so these mysterious figures, we're not going to fuck around. It's Kano and it's Shao Kahn, right?
Hello, baby!
Shao Kahn disappears through the portal. Kano takes the Xbox, puts it down in the dirt, and the Xbox just starts digging into the ground. And then Kano steps into a portal, right?
Hello, Gov!
And then the Dragon Jets show up. And Stryker's like, what the fuck? There's nothing here.
I'm going to go kill Nightwolf, that stupid son of a bitch.
They get down to land and investigate it, and they're like, there's nothing here. It is important to note that they landed the jets and got out. That's going to come up later. But they're like, oh, there's nothing here. We left that battle for nothing. Should we go back? And Nightwolf's like, oh, I swear there was a portal, guys. I saw it on my computer. There's no sense in you going back. Just come back to base. They already beat up all the nomads, right? So then I think we see the Xbox like dig its way out of the ground inside like the pyramid or whatever. And then a door opens and we get our first shot of Kano. And he's
hello.
He's had I don't want to call it a glow up. He looks a little different, right?
It's sort of like if you took, listener, close your eyes. Picture Kano in your mind's eye, whatever comes to mind. Maybe it's a toy you really like. Maybe it's like live action movies. Maybe it's the games. I don't know which one, whatever. Now take that Kano and do one of two things to it. You can get a butane torch and just sort of melt it a bunch. Or you can put it in a microwave and you have Kano. Dude's looking a little bit uh-oh.
It's his Mortal Kombat 3 look in this. But what I thought was cool is when we see the flashback later of him fighting Sonya in Mortal Kombat 95, only cartoonied. He looks like he did in that movie, in that flashback. We get some costume changes in these flashbacks. It's kind of cool.
It's the least they could do.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy that, the attention to detail in that way, right?
Oh, yeah. This episode's fucking stupid, too, because it's like 80% stupid plot and then 20% flashback.
Not as much as last episode, I think.
Less flashback, but more stupid plot. Just because, like, I just think the Nightwolf thing is dumb because the reason for why it's all happening is really stupid, and they're just being really unfair to their friend.
They really are. So, all right. So they get back to the base, right? Everyone get back to the base. They all take turns calling Nightwolf a fucking screw up, right?
Yeah. And he's like, nah, my computers are perfect.
And then the combat alarm goes off, and he's like, there's another rift. This time it's in Tibet.
And they're already joking, like, oh, is it real? You fucking idiot? You fucking dumbass?
Yeah. Fuck you, dude. And Liu Kang's like, it's not that we don't trust you, Nightwolf, but you're wearing us down. Like, fuck that. Nightwolf's not the one invading Earthrealm.
This mistake has happened one time, and they're
this
like...
This is their fucking job.
Yeah, it's like, oh, man, we can't keep doing all this traveling, all these time zones are killing me. And it's like, somebody, what did you think the job description was?
This is what you fucking do. Right?
Stryker,
this is your job.
You fucking baby. Like, what did you want? And then it's like, okay, so Nightwolf fucked up one time, and you guys were already gone somewhere, and he had to fucking briefly go somewhere else, and then you all came back at the same time. What's the problem?
Dude, I gotta point something out here. When Liu Kang, when Katana, Liu Kang, and Stryker leave the battle to go check out the Egypt portal, right? They each take one jet.
Yeah, that fucked me up. That was complete nonsense.
Yeah. Not only that, but the scenes of them flying to Egypt were the scenes of them flying back to the combat cave in the first movie. They reused the footage from the first episode.
Yeah.
And they did something that I actually think is kind of cool, where they implied that they're like diving under the water and flying through like underground caves and tunnels to travel all over the world. They weren't like flying in the sky, right?
Yeah, and you
see them like go underwater and like pilot through caves and that kind of shit.
Well, they discontinued the velospheres.
It's similar to the way a velosphere might have traversed the inner workings of the planet Earth. It made me think Mortal Kombat Annihilation really should have had fucking dragon jets in it.
It would have been more interesting than a big ball.
I mean, pretty much anything is. But anyway, now everyone's they're going to all kick their jets and jam again. So they all fly out to Tibet. They unload from the jets on the top of this mountain. Everyone's just fucking cold except for Sub-Zero. And there's no rift there, right?
And they're all like, when we get back to the combat cave, I'm going to break every single one of Nightwolf's individual bones. And it's like, guys... fucking chill out.
Yeah, like this is when they video call him and they're like super shitty to him, like over their like tracking bracelets, right? And like Sonya, this is where Sonya's like, are you sure you're not just screwing things up? I think you screwed up again. You're just being a screw up. Oh, blame somebody else for your screw ups. You fucking screw up. You screwed up again. You screwy piece of fuck up, screw up shit.
You big
Nightwolf.
fucking dumbass idiot piece of shit. I will literally sleep in your bed because it's empty because your body is in the ground where I put it.
And Stryker's like, I'm a cop. I'll fucking murder you for less than this, right?
Can't believe I managed to salvage that sentence I clearly fucked up saying. That's podcasting, baby. Hello.
All right, so before they even get the chance to like fly back to while they're on the phone with Nightwolf, calling him a fuck up, he gets another alarm, and he's like, there's another rift.
And they're like, oh, is that one of your fucking phantom dumbass alarms again, you fucking dumbass?
It's in Australia. We got to go make sure Paul's okay, right?
And they're like, it's so far.
Stryker was like, Australia, fuck Paul. I'm not going to save Paul.
Yeah, and frankly, Paul doesn't want to hang out with Stryker anyway.
Paul closed the rift himself to try to keep Stryker from doing it. But they're like, fine, we'll do this, but this is the last fucking time, because if there's nothing here in Australia, we're going to murder you when we get back. And Nightwolf's like...
He's sitting in that chair looking despondent with some really weirdly drawn poses.
Yeah, I love it. I got screenshots already. So they get to Australia. No rip in Australia, right? Now Stryker's yelling at Nightwolf again. And Nightwolf is like, look, I don't know what's going on. Somebody must be doing this to send us on a wild goose chase. And Sonya's like, yeah, sure. Blame somebody else for your screw ups. Like, like he has any fucking... whatever, dude.
If only they had seen the scene where Kano says, "Time to send those evildoers on a wild goose chase." Am I right? I'm going to stop doing that eventually, but not right now.
Nothing in Australia, but then there's another rift in the rainforest in Brazil, and they're all like, God damn it. Like, it's just a series of this, right? And then this is the point where Raiden pops in to quote-unquote help Nightwolf, right? And Nightwolf is like, hey, Raiden, do you think I'm going crazy? And Raiden's like, I don't know. You use your computer too much, man. You got to use your brain instead. You're a shaman, right? Right? He's a shaman.
Yeah, that's what he says. And
use your shaman powers.
Yeah, it's really cool of them to have one indigenous character, and then it's just like, hey, man, use your shaman powers. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Defenders of the Realm, for this beautiful representation.
Hey, Native American character who's been getting shit on by a cop for 5 episodes in a row so far, or at least for the majority of this episode,
while doing a lot of thankless work.
Use your mystical shaman powers to make it all better.
Just the dumbest shit. Just the stupidest, dumbest shit in the world.
Nightwolf does start thinking about it, right? And he's like, man, all this shit started happening in Egypt. So I'm going to go check out Egypt for myself. I'm going to take my dog, Kiva, with me. Vibe check on Kiva. Kiva's vibe is good boy.
Kiva's vibe is tragic, though. Kiva's like feeling his feelings.
Yeah.
In a major way.
He's a therapy dog.
Yeah, they get to go in the jet together.
Yeah, that's why he's able to fly.
And fucking Delta doesn't charge them or something. I don't know how that works.
And so now it's Nightwolf's turn to go back to that location in Egypt where that portal was. You know, the one where Liu Kang, Stryker, and Katana landed the jets and got out and said there was nothing there. Yeah,
nobody thought it was suspicious that it was the exact same location. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. That doesn't mean Nightwolf was right. That'd be stupid.
Nightwolf finds some kind of fucking like insignia, like Black Dragon insignia.
Right away!
Immediately. I mean, to his, like, he does have Kiva with him, and Kiva helps him track down shit and stuff like that.
He kicked his jets and jammed.
Kiva's a good boy, right? So then he takes that back to the cave, and he's like, look, I found this in Egypt, and everyone's like, oh, and like Sonya sees it immediately. She sees the Black Dragon logo, and she's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to get the fuck out of here yesterday. I don't want this.
Yeah, she's like having a traumatic response to seeing it again, and we get the Defenders of the Realm version of which we need to consider the canon version in this universe of what exactly happened with Sonya and her partner.
Not a single Crimmins in sight.
Nope, her partner in this is not Bill Van Hoven like it was in the Mortal Kombat 95 novel. That is not canon. Her partner was a man named Wexler.
Worst name, just a lame, dumb name, just a bad name.
Yep, Sonya and Wexler were on some kind of a surveillance mission in like a motel room, right? And Sonya like stepped out of the room for a little while, and she came back.
She was getting like coffee,
food and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
she's literally holding cups on her way back.
Yeah,
like they're just vibing, just waiting for some shit to maybe go down.
Surveilling potentially the Black Dragon organization and Kano himself, because they have a photo of him in their surveillance motel room, right?
That's because he was in a movie with Johnny Cage. I don't know. Publicity photo. There's a joke in there somewhere. That doesn't matter.
I get it.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
Not much this episode has been, so.
Of Defenders of the Realm or ours? This is the most important question I've ever asked you.
Ours, but I didn't mean it. Yeah, so she's back in the room, and like there's a Black Dragon posted on the wall, and a picture of Kano and a note that says like "bye bye girl" or something shitty like that. And she's like, "Oh shit, Wexler, if you're here, get out of here now."
It's a drawing of a snowman, and it says, "Mr. Policeman, I gave you all the clues."
Okay. And she dies out the window right as like a bomb goes off and blows up the room, and we learn that Wexler didn't make it out, and we're told that by the Special Forces captain, who is also voiced by the guy who did Kano's voice, Michael DeBars, writer of the song "Obsession," recorded famously by Animotion.
What a versatile man!
Guy. just a guy being a dude.
Just
right?
A bunch of bros being guys, being fellas.
So
this is the episode where I feel like I've had the least grasp on what to actually say into the microphone. Do you know, to make the podcast right?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's another weeknight recording. So.
Oh, it sure is.
But I just want to comment on this scene that we get to see Sonya in like a cartoon version of sort of her Special Forces gear from the 95 movie versus her Mortal Kombat 3 outfit that we've been seeing her in up to this point. It was kind of a cool look.
In my head, it's reminiscent of something from Street Fighter, the movie, and I don't know why or what. I don't know what I'm thinking of at all.
Yeah, I think you might be mixing it up a little bit because I can't.
But like like a blue, like you get what I mean? Like
yeah. Well, the military garb in the Street Fighter movie was like a blue camo.
Okay.
And blue shirts and stuff like that. So I can see where you're getting that.
Maybe
from.
That's all it was.
Yeah, she kind of had a Cammy vibe going on because she's also blonde, right?
Right, and a cop.
Yeah, and a cop.
Is Cammy a cop?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a shame.
Well, she wasn't we're not doing this now. She was a
How many people that listen to this podcast, this is a serious question, stopped listening the second you were about to get into actual Street Fighter lore? Like, how many people paused the episode and did not come back to hear me say this?
I'm trying. I don't know, a lot. I'm trying to pull the information. I can't access it right now.
We can do a bonus episode.
I'm in Mortal Kombat mode, but yeah, Cammy's basically a cop. She was brainwashed for a while. She was supposed to be a body that Bison could implant his mind in. She was his Killer Bee agent, etc. It's a messy continuity. We're not going to dissect it all here. It's not what this show's about. And then we get to see, during this storytelling that Jax is doing about Sonya's history with Kano, we do get to see a version of Sonya killing Kano in the 95 movie, but in animated form. I always love when they do that shit in this. It's pretty cool to see. But now we're back out of the storytelling.
And it's time to end this episode on a very Scooby-Doo series of events.
There's another alert, and Nightwolf is like, look, I did actual investigation when I went to Egypt. I didn't just look around and say, hey, there's nothing here, and get in the jet and kick it and jam. I found something. So I think that these are false alarms, right? I think we split the team again. Half of us go to Egypt because that's where all this shit started, and the other half goes check out the rift just to be safe, right? And Stryker's like, well, what's the point in going to Egypt? We didn't find anything when we went there. And it's like, yeah, but Nightwolf just went there and found something.
Also,
you
things
fucking
change,
idiot.
you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't plant any evidence there, so there's not going to be any evidence there.
100% that's what he's thinking. He's like, yeah,
all the
Stryker's
drugs
like,
are still in my pocket, so there's nothing to arrest them for.
I'm a riot cop, not a detective. I plant evidence.
Yeah,
I
Stryker rides
it.
a fucking bike around. He is not meant to be breaking up rings at colleges.
What if Stryker was actually a bicycle cop?
He might have been. What if he's lying?
And he's just lying to the defenders of the realm.
Stryker also tells people he's
cop.
6 foot, which he's not.
He's 5'4", if that.
He's like not even convincingly lying to people. I like this, but also I like the continuity because all these characters are roughly the same height where everybody looks like the fucking Muppet Babies.
Also, he looks like wildly like Dave Coulier.
You got it, dude, or something.
All right, Corey, cut it out. Let's continue.
I'm going to join the Beach Boys.
Hi, I'm Kimmy Gibbler.
House.
So
no more space.
Damn it.
Not even that funny.
It's just supremely stupid. Fuck. All right. So here's how the
we're almost there.
Here's how the party splits. It's Jax, Sonya, and Sub-Zero, and Nightwolf going to check out Egypt, and then the other three going to check out the rift. So what's that? Liu Kang, Kitana, and Stryker, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And we cut to Egypt, and Sub-Zero is immediately saying, like in this scene, to Nightwolf, we've been searching half the night and we haven't found anything. And then Sonya's like, I found something. And there's just this giant dragon button on the side of the pyramid. It shouldn't have taken him half the fucking night to find that. It was right there and it was huge. And they're like, this doesn't seem like it belongs here because dragons weren't a part of Egyptian mythology, as opposed to just remembering that they're looking for the fucking black dragon and they already found black dragon insignias.
Yeah, that was such a weird, like...
I think, was that like a moment where they were trying to teach the kids something? Like,
I don't know.
educational?
It was really stupid. It was stupid though, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Not as stupid as what happens next, because they push it and a giant trap door opens beneath them and they fall under the pyramid.
Yeah, it gets really Scooby-Doo really fast.
There's even like mummies.
Somebody's
and shit,
gonna monk crumble
right?
in a bit, and I can't wait.
So once they fall down into the pyramid, they split the party again. So Jax and Sub-Zero go off, and Sonya. Oh, we didn't mention that while they were flying out to Egypt, Sonya did apologize to Nightwolf for being
she's the only one
shitty. But she blames it on being, triggered by Kano being back.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
She was being shitty before she knew Kano was back, right? So she didn't apologize for that, just the stuff that happened, since she found out that Kano was back. Or maybe she just had some perspective suddenly, right? Because she's got other things to worry about now. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I'm going to run it by my therapist.
Dude, if you're talking to anybody listening, if you're talking to your therapist about how Sonya Blade is doing, you need to pay that therapist more money.
I pay him enough.
Yeah, it's probably pretty expensive shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
KO-FI.
If you guys want to pay for Neil to get better therapy than he's currently getting, or a chair.
That is not staying.
Think about how much Neil's mental health will improve if he's sitting in a nicer chair.
Improve your mental health by improving your lumbar support.
They say the lumbar is the biggest part of your brain. Anyway, we're almost.
So now, Sonya's all buddied up with Nightwolf, and she's like, "I'm going with Nightwolf. I'm not leaving Nightwolf's side." Nightwolf's also got Kiva with him. I love when Kiva gets to go for a ride and go to get out in the world.
Yeah, Nightwolf never gets to do anything. So the fact that the only reason he gets to even leave that fucking computer cave is because everybody's mad at him is really stupid.
It is, but I'm glad he got out, right? And he's going to fucking prove his value to this team hardcore, because he's immediately using his shaman powers.
Of course, this is some kind of puzzle key.
to find booby traps, and his axe to hatchet through spears, and use his mystical powers, to solve a puzzle lock key door thing, right? Opens the door, Kano's just right fucking there, and he's like, "Hello, baby, did you miss me? My little bird.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Do I make you Randy, Sonya?" Right?
I've been locked in a freezer for 500 years! Or whatever happens in that movie.
And he's like, "Oh, bollocks, you found me in my
tea-drinking pyramid."
Apologies to all of our English listeners.
I'm not sorry.
And our Australian ones, too.
Nope.
Sorry, Paul.
Nope.
Sorry, Dominic.
So really quick, A, this is maybe the worst voice acting we've heard to date.
Oof.
B, did we miss the part where somebody combat time kicks a mummy to dust?
No, because they're about to fight the mummies now, I think, aren't they?
Then why do I have a note that much later that just says baby, 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 baby in all capital letters like I was doing an Austin Powers bit?
No, you are right. You're totally right. Sorry, we did. While they were searching for...
There's a Scooby-Doo mummy fight.
The chambers. Yeah, they do. They get attacked by a bunch of mummies before they meet Kano. Then Kano puts a bunch of more mummies on them also. There's 2 mummy scenes in this. And they're different mummies than we saw in episode 2. These are
Scooby-Doo ass mummies.
And yeah, they just start wailing on these mummies, and these mummies do the monk crumble.
Hey, it's my mummies. Gotta go eat a Terry's chocolate orange.
Jesus Christ.
I voted for Boris Johnson.
Okay.
Kano absolutely voted for Boris Johnson.
No, Kano probably isn't allowed to vote because he's a felon or whatever.
Yeah, but he does illegal voting, and he votes for Tories.
100%.
Never been more sure about anything in my life. And if he was Australian, which he's clearly not, he would still be voting for Tories.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, there's a mummy fight. And once they beat up these mummies, Sonya says well, we wrapped up that situation. Haha, great, because they're mummies. And they're wrapped up in toilet paper or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, shit. The paper is for.
Okay. So then they find Kano. And Kano's like, "You thought I was dead, but I'm alive. I work for the Emperor, eh, lassie?" Or whatever.
Hey!
God, we have to stop.
And then
I joined in on it, and I'm immediately like, I have to stop doing
it.
it.
And Sonya's like, I'm gonna kick your ass in public, you dumb piece of shit.
And he's like, hey, let's go.
Blitzkrieg
right?
Bob.
So then they do the Blitzkrieg Bop. They fucking fight each other.
Stupid
Jesus Christ.
clowns.
All right, we're way off. Let's just summarize this. So, the Xbox that Kano has can sometimes make fake portals and sometimes make real portals. It can do either one, but he's basically using it to trick their computer, right? That was his plot. His plot was literally just to gaslight Sonya and the boys and wear them out and make them tired and then make Nightwolf look bad. And what was the
it was a prank.
But like what was the end game? Was it just a prank? Was his plan to mildly inconvenience them for the Emperor?
If this was Shao Kahn's plan, I mean it was obviously just sow discord within the group, run them ragged so they can defend less well. That is the plan.
That's the whole fucking plan.
Yeah.
It feels like that should have been like
step one of a 2-step plan. Yes, you're absolutely right.
And step 2 should have been like
kill them
happening right
or
now,
invade
right?
or something. Yeah, you're right.
But no, why not open like 16 portals and send all your armies in all at once at different places? Like at this point where you know that they're all in Egypt under this pyramid because they fell down a fucking trapdoor. Anyway, now it's combat time, right? Nightwolf has absorbed Kiva, gotten his fighting spirit. Jax and Sub-Zero have caught up. Kano's throwing knives at Sonya. She's deflecting them, but just with her bare arm and not getting cut.
She's magic,
which is insane.
She says "kiss off" again.
She says "kiss off" a few times, and Kano's like, "Yeah, good luck, you Yanks. We out now."
Oi. Me and all my posh mates are gonna kick your ass.
We outnumber you 10-1, right? And then, boom, the rest of the team shows up, and suddenly, then they're not so outnumbered anymore.
I drive a Ford Focus. They only sell those in the UK now.
Kano.
They don't sell them here
anymore. I drive on the wrong side of the road.
In every country.
In my Ford Focus. God.
If only we could focus.
Hey, listeners, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
All right.
And then actually, speaking of focusing, everybody keeps trying to talk to Sonya while she's trying to focus on kicking Kano's ass. Yeah.
But there's one, Stryker does one more shitty. Stryker has been abusing the fuck out of Nightwolf. Why were you about to start singing that?
Because it's, that's all. It sort of sounded like you said that, and it's funny every time. I'm gonna let you finish now.
It's been a while. That's the other one, right?
It is. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that.
And my wife, of course. The third thing. That's always funny.
Oh God, we should end. We should finish this.
All right, there's a shitty thing that Stryker does. So the way that they were, the rest of the gang was able to catch up was because of Nightwolf's tracker watches, right? Which I fully believe that Stryker is a big fan of as a cop. He's surely like really into some illegal surveillance and shit like that, right? But he's like, yeah, we were able to find you thanks to Nightwolf's genius and his tracking bracelets that he made us all, right? And then you see Nightwolf have he has this look of happiness because he's gotten this approval from Stryker. Stryker, the guy who's been abusing him this entire fucking episode, right? And really being a piece of shit and putting him down. Stryker's an abuser, 100%. He was putting Nightwolf down constantly, made Nightwolf desperate for his approval, and then he just threw him just a little bit of approval just to keep him on the hook, right?
Yeah, Stryker fucking sucks so bad, dude.
That's the lesson that this show taught children.
If anybody listening in real life knows somebody named Stryker, break it off.
Curtis or otherwise, just any Stryker.
Yeah, no, you're done with that person now.
That just really fucked me up.
No, it sucks, man. It's fucking
classic abuser tactics. Fucking asshole.
Brought to you by fictional police.
Anyway, yeah. So Sonya's fighting Kano, right? Nightwolf's cheering her on. You beat him before, you can do it again, etc. She tells him to kiss off, and she hits him with her kiss of death, but it's more of a kiss of knockdown, because he just sort of falls. Then he gets up and grabs his Xbox and tries to escape, but Nightwolf, I think, hatchets him and he drops the Xbox, but then just keeps going and the door closes and he's like, oh, by the way, there's a bomb in here. I know you guys love bombs. And then the whole crew, the whole gang.
This podcast loves bombs, am I right?
Has to run out of the pyramid before it explodes. And by explodes, of course, we mean it slowly
sinks into the ground.
Much like that building a couple episodes ago with very little movement or animation at all, right?
And then Shao Kahn's like, I'll get you next time, Gadget.
Stryker's feeling real good. He's like, Stryker, holy shit. Nightwolf's feeling real good. He's like, I use my mind. I need to rely less on my computer and believe in myself more. I feel good. I told you guys I wasn't crazy. It's so good to feel like I wasn't crazy, right? And then Sonya's like, well, yeah, I'm glad you don't feel like a failure. I feel like a failure because I couldn't save my partner. And now I couldn't even kill Kano, right? Because he's back. And now I didn't get to kill him this time because we're stuck in a children's cartoon and I can't murder people on it. And they're all like, hey, don't worry, Sonya. It's okay. You'll murder him someday. And then, Shao Kahn's looking at them through some kind of a weird like lens thing.
Big
that
ball.
Harry Potter thing.
I don't know what the Harry Potter thing is, so I'm just going to say big ball.
Yeah, the big ball. And he's
Harry
like,
Potter and the big ball.
And he's like, this is far from over.
Gadget.
Bollocks, Lassie. Or whatever.
Send Lassie to hell.
And that's the end of the episode.
It's not a good one, gamers. It's got some interesting stuff in it. Flashbacks are kind of neat, but the core conceit of it is so deeply, deeply flawed that it just doesn't work. And it goes against the characterization of like the entire group.
100% of them, except Stryker. Yeah, this one was not very well written or plotted at all. Hate to do it to you, Sean Catherine Derrick. This one was a stinker.
Look, man, not everybody can bat 1,000 from the reboot dimension.
Yeah. You know, that real person we've dragged into this concept.
Well, this is a fictionalized version of that real person at this point. At this point, we are not exactly talking about a real writer. This is like we've created a character. And if people didn't realize that, I would like to make that unequivocally clear.
I do have a big theory, boys. It's very, very short. We're going to do this, right?
Big theory, boys. Big theory, boys.
Kano got killed in Mortal Kombat 95. They acknowledged that he got killed in this cartoon series. And then Kitana says something about maybe the Emperor spared him from death or the Emperor brought him back or something like that. This is our first like specific example in this universe of somebody who was dead, confirmed dead, being brought back to life, and then a conversation happening about the fact that that is a possibility. So that sets up Shao Kahn's return. That sets up any other character that was killed. That sets up Rain's return, all of that kind of stuff. We now have like an in-universe example of somebody confirmed dead coming back, and that fact being acknowledged. So all of my weird theories about Rain coming back and Shao Kahn coming back and all that kind of stuff is technically believable in this world, and that's the end of my big theory, boys. Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, clearly a sequel to Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And that's it. I'm done. I'm done talking about this.
Yeah, we can end this podcast whenever we want.
Who did it better because Mortal Kombat 95 did Kano.
Because somehow the answer is Cabral and Chola.
Yeah. We did no Black Dragon comparison.
Well, there it is.
Oh, shit. There it is.
I would genuinely rather watch that episode again. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I know it's like twice as long, but 100%.
Well, that's something mildly interesting for us to discuss for just a minute here. We essentially saw the collapse of the Black Dragon in Conquest, right?
Essentially.
Yeah. Do you think that this means that Jola somehow got out of the Cobalt mines and restarted it and it got passed down to Kano eventually? Or do you think that Kano just like found the Black Dragon name in like an old scroll and was like, that sounds cool, I'm going to start that again?
I don't know.
Could be either, I guess.
I think it's funnier if Kano like kept it going because as if he thought this was the best use of that and those resources.
All right, we'll go with that.
Sure.
That's it. Yeah, Conquest did it better. I'd rather watch that episode over this one also because at least that one had Bruce Locke in it, right?
Yeah, at least.
And everybody else that we love. Paolo, Cristana, Daniel
Bernhardt, who I want to make clear to a select few people who shall remain unnamed, that deserved to be in that show and is very good.
It's really good. Yeah. What an insane thing that person that we're not going to name said.
Ever slandered Daniel Bernhardt.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not saying that there's taped evidence of me slandering Daniel Bernhardt, but I grew as a person and I learned.
Plus, Tommy Wiseau is not a martial artist.
He's not, and he wouldn't do it good.
Oh, hi, Kung Lao.
Stop. And the podcast is over?
He'd be
Forever. Nightwolf looking at his computers like, everybody betray me.
I did not hit him. I did not hit him. I did not.
It's like, you're supposed to. You're supposed to hit him. It's
like,
the whole...
You're supposed to hit him. It's Mortal Kombat.
Keep hitting him. Start and continue to hit him.
Coy, let's press this button and fall into this trap door under this pyramid.
Whoa! That was me falling in.
I didn't hear it, but I believe you.
Whoa!
What do you got to plug?
I did it again. Did you hear it the second time?
I did hear it the second
great.
time.
Fantastic. Perfect.
What?
Is that you falling in?
Yeah, I fall very quickly.
Other podcasts, they made another one. Movies. We talk about movies, but not new ones. Probably not ones you want to talk about. It is with my friends Liam and Mitch. It's at They Made Another on Twitter, TMAO on Letterboxd, and They Made Another one on all the podcast services stuff.
New episode coming up, Poison Ivy, The New Seduction.
Not unless my bank account gets substantially larger.
Yeah, I'm cutting that out. I don't want to mislead. No, I'm leaving it in. Fuck it. You can find me on Twitter at Final Neil. Follow my retro gaming Instagram account at Final Neil Retro. Subscribe to MK Podquest in your podcast app and on YouTube. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at MK Podquest. And we will be back next week with Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, Episode 7, Fall from Grace. This is the one where Sonya learns how to an important lesson about teamwork. Yeah, but let's go. It's what are we doing, dude? It's Friday night.
I work at 5 a.m. tomorrow, and I'm sitting here talking about this. Hello.
All right, blimey. We should stop recording.